Coming up in this week's album review podcast.
I'm not you, because if I was, I would have killed myself.
Really enjoyed, but like, I don't get why I didn't want to go back to it.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad you picked up on it, Joe. Because
What have you lost?
What's that?
What have you lost?
What's that?
You heard me twice.
My fucks to give.
He does literally have a song
Jesus
set
saved
called
me.
"God's Gonna Cut You Down," so
Yeah, he also has a song called Chase Her, and that's not very religious, is it? The faster the healing, the faster things are going to happen, the faster the miracles, Wow.
Wendy, Wendy.
2005 called, they want their references back.
literally.
My dad used to do Devil Finger. I mean, that sounds
He
so...
did fucking what? Welcome to album review. Joe, get off your phone, please. I'm joined by my two favourite people in the world, Joe, Denver, and Will. Welcome,
That's
everybody. What?
What? There's two
And I'm
for
Aidan.
one.
We're doing the Bailey Zimmerman album that is religiously the album.
Such a
Guys-
cool name.
I want to open this up to the room. How many Bang Av albums have we done?
Why? Who else is in your room?
Sorry, no one in here.
Bang Avs.
We've had a lot of
Bang
Bang
Avs. A lot of
We've had
Bang
a lot
Avs.
of Bang Avs.
But then again,
Today-
we've done so many albums.
Today, no different, in my opinion. The Bailey Zimmerman, religiously the album.com. Just pretty Bang Av, really. I like his voice. I just realised I misgendered them. Potentially. I like their voice.
them's voice.
Them sing good.
Is it not a
Zimmerman.
No, it's just
Zimmer
obviously,
them.
I've not had a chance to ask, so I've not asked them personally.
Right.
Well, could you get on that when McFly finally replied to us? Could you just ask him, please?
It'd be my
That's
pleasure.
I think he identifies as a spellbinding storyteller,
Is that true?
sharp songwriter, powerhouse performer. I think
Really?
that's what you need to. That's what you need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely actually appreciate that. So
No, it's okay.
Bailey Zimmerman, a spellbinding storyteller, sharp songwriter, powerhouse performer, and history maker, did definitely write an okay album. Like, all things considered, it's good. Every song is equally as good as the previous and next song. There are very few drop-offs. I'd say they've got variety, but I'd be lying. Because they don't. And I think we should just jump right into it, really. Flashbang. The worst song for me was You Don't Want the Smoke. Because I don't want the smoke.
that smoke.
I don't smoke, so this song didn't appeal to me.
But he didn't want the smoke either.
It really.
By no means a bad
Maybe
song, but for the same reason any song is good is also the same reason they're bad. And I don't like cigarettes.
Did you find it hard to pick a least favorite?
It was very difficult to pick a least favorite, mainly because I'm just such a loving and empathetic person who likes everything.
You literally.
I love all of God's creations.
You're well known, averaged as rating the lowest out of all of us.
I am also the most fair yet benevolent person on album review. I judge as need judging.
You
I
hate
swing-
as need hating.
Exactly. Much like the Taylor Swift song. Haters are gonna hate.
Would you say you're a hater, Aidan?
No, I would
Would
say
you-
I'm a player, and players do gotta play.
Do you think you'd ever be the type? Like, I never get this, right? You know, when people go online and they just start hating on someone.
Yeah, I do spread a lot of
Like,
misinformation.
I never get
yes.
why people do that.
I find it really funny to tell people wrong advice,
Yeah.
which is horrible in my actual line of work. But I spend all day lying.
I
I
remember
think
when I
some
was.
people don't see online as real, so they just go on there just
It's
to
not.
incite
It's
chaos.
not real.
Yeah,
Like,
to be fair,
these
it's
aren't
not
real people. I'm
I'm
just
not
going to spread
affected a
hate
single
for
person.
shits. Like, if spreading hate improves your mental health,
Why not?
should you still be encouraged to do it at the detriment of someone else's mental health?
Oh my
Fuck other
god,
people.
listen
Other
to
people don't
fucking
matter.
Gandhi over here. What's going on?
It's weird though, isn't it? Because like now, like if I had a disagreement or an argument with someone,
Or a disability.
or a disability, I'd either talk to them like over a call, like we are now, or text them, right?
Keyboard
But, like,
warrior.
or like a keyboard warrior. But when I was 13, like if I was having an argument, that shit's going public, online, on Twitter. We are having that argument on a thread.
Twitter.com
Or X
Joe.
now.
Or X, yeah.
But like, it's so weird how that mindset changes, isn't it? Like, but I think whereas mine and our mindset might have changed. It feels like almost trendy now, like to have these sort of discussions online in front of everybody. It just feels like nothing's private, is it?
Everyone except yourself is just an NPC, so say whatever you want. There's no repercussions.
There really isn't. This is what I'm trying
die.
to say about spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just do it.
When we like hate on albums, are we haters?
Is he doing a tongue twister?
No,
when we won the war.
Guys, when we.
When we. Now that sounds weird to say.
Right.
When we. Bottom text.
On a serious note, when we hate on albums, are we haters?
Yes.
Are we no better than the keyboard warrior?
We as a social, we're not. We're separate entities. I'm not you, because if I was, I would have killed myself.
Jesus.
I'm me, and
so out of context.
Now, me as person, when we, yes.
When we.
Aidan, are you having a stroke?
When we.
He's gone. Call in an ambulance. Aidan, you're an ambulance.
Call a bondulance.
Thank you. Call an ambulance, but not for me.
When we.
My third favourite song was Warzone. Not my favourite. I personally prefer DMZ.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you did. Stupid
Is DMZ
shit.
still in the game, or is it just that zombies thing now?
Warzone is its separate entity.
No. DMZ.
Yeah, Warzone. DMZ is part of Warzone.
I thought
What about the zombies?
Entity.
Is that separate again?
That's
Zombies
separate
is just DMZ, but zombies.
But it's a separate
I
entity.
didn't know if DMZ had been replaced by zombies.
No.
My second favourite was Religiously. I've always been a religious man ever since I was 8 years old and held a candle in a church that was inside an orange for some reason. I really felt a connection with God in that moment.
Wow.
In that I realised there wasn't one. Because if there was, why would I be doing this? Just seems a bit silly, really. If I were a god, I would make people do goofy shit too. And I would spread misinformation online. Number one, by an absolute country mile. Sorry, I forgot to say, the top two are like the only really actually good songs on the album.
I'm interested to see what your top one is here.
The best one is definitely Rockin' a Hard Place. All capitalised randomly in the song. The and is not capitalised, but rock a hard place are all capitalised.
I see what you mean. That's really hard to unsee now.
It bugs me a little bit.
I thought you were like, oh, there's just random sporadic letters.
No, I don't think so.
You say that, fucking Bring Me the Horizon is pulling off that shit at the minute.
Bro says a rock at a hard place and then hits him with the B.
But yeah, I can't unsee that now. But
No,
that is a great song.
I never noticed that either.
Yeah. Well, I notice these things as an avid spreader of misinformation online. It's just something that I genuinely.
It's just because it's rock
And
is one word and a hard place is the other. So it obviously starts with a capitalization.
I mean, it's also part of a phrase, a well-known phrase
From this song.
What does that phrase mean?
When you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, it means that you're just in a difficult situation.
You're in limbo.
No.
No?
Didn't like that game. What was it, 2009 or whatever?
Because like the same thing happens in Get to Getting Gone. Wait, that has a lowercase t.
Yeah, have you noticed every other word is like a capital starting? No matter.
I think that's just an album standardization.
Yeah, but then
That's
you don't
like-
want that Smoke has all capitals.
I think that Bailey Zimmerman is illiterate.
I don't
This is actually
understand
true,
that.
to be fair. Like, if you go on Wikipedia, you'll find out that Bailey Zimmerman never learned how to read.
Wow.
It's true.
Like misinformation.
How does he
That is more misinformation. But I just enjoy spreading because I'm a devious little creature. I'm just a silly little guy, you know. I'm a goofy fella.
Crazy though. That
No.
Okay.
He was born in the year 2000.
No, not much has changed, but they live underwater.
We're now criticizing people younger than us.
Fucking baby!
When we were his age, we were doing album review.
Oh my god.
I'm a fucking loser. Like, look at us. We're way more successful than this guy.
Whoa.
Silly prick.
I bet he has an ironing board in his studio with Chinese on it.
That's so fucking gross. When is that Chinese from, Joe?
4 weeks ago.
No, it wasn't. It was literally an hour ago.
I'm here to spread more misinformation. The Chinese is 4 weeks old.
Look, have you seen the fucking size of this though?
Whips out penis.
You know, you broke the illusion now. I think everyone watching, all them people, kind of hoping you didn't really live like that.
The size of that spring roll.
Eat it.
Fuck it. It's
Eat it right now. Eat
What
it
is
right
the
now.
mould on the side of that
The
spring
whole
roll?
thing. The whole thing. In the mouth.
It's rancid, but
What do you mean? All in. Yeah! Yes!
It doesn't
Come
look
on,
very
lad.
nice.
It's so bad. That was more acceptable, though.
Joe, this brings me to a question I wanted to ask you. Are you still going to the gym?
Yes. Oh!
That's fucking
As the
disgusting.
Chinese literally falls from his mouth. Yes.
Caught red-handed. Yes, I am. Not as much, but I am.
He's slipping. He's slipping.
It's been hard. Hard life.
He just hasn't got time.
No time for that.
Yeah. Anyway, overall, I am sick, so you can't trust my opinion. But in fairness, Will Davey is sicker than me. So I suppose
look at him.
But I don't trust his opinion regardless of how he's feeling.
He's getting that Rudolph nose.
I'm feeling it. My nose has just been contoured. Is it me? It is me, isn't it? Bailey Zimmerman. Nice voice. Strange album in that I liked a lot of the songs on it, but I actually really liked a lot of the songs, but I never felt like I wanted to go and listen to it, which is weird. Like usually when obviously you like stuff, you want to go back and listen to it. I didn't really feel that with this, so I'm in a bit of a weird place with this album because I think it's solid, but the fact that and the songs I genuinely enjoyed, but like I don't get why I didn't want to go back to it.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad you picked up on that, Joe, because I was noticing it as well. Well, you were just moving around a lot while you were talking. You were kind of doing this. You were doing what Joe was doing.
Yes. This album was really underwhelming to me. Like,
I had no idea. Sorry.
He's the sickest he's ever been. Give him a break.
Oh,
This is the worst
you
cold to
can't make
ever
me laugh like
happen.
that. I will die.
Sorry, I really.
You're
I
not
thought
eating on.
mine.
That's a rock lamp then, but there's not a
No,
fire.
it's just, I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but
Fucking
because of the
idiot.
effect of the camera, it looks like every time you're breathing, smoke is coming out.
What?
I think he's
What are you looking
vaping. Oh, I see. Is it the lighting? That
Yeah,
you
it's like the
Oh,
light is
yeah.
like creating like a flare, so
It's
it looks like your room is really cold.
It's like
No,
when
the
you're in,
heating's
like
on.
the Middle East in the movies and the heat waves are going across the screen. It's not at all like that, in fact.
That was
Waves
interesting.
after waves. Slowly.
No,
shooting
you
it.
know when it pans into a Middle Eastern place and then the heat waves in the desert and there's
Like in the F1 when it's a hot racetrack.
don't understand.
Mm.
Can you use something that I would understand, please?
You know when you're ordering a takeaway
Yes.
and it arrives not after a delay, you're like, oh, this is surprising. It's arrived after 20 minutes from the order.
Go on.
You pick up said takeaway and then you bring it into your house. The heating hasn't been on.
Right.
But there's like this
Steam.
mist coming off the takeaway.
Yeah.
I don't know how hot your takeaways normally are, or how cold your house is. To have the takeaway like dissipating steam from it as you walk into your house. Unless you ordered like soup,
Just a cup of tea.
just like boiling hot soup.
There's a vending machine at work which just dispenses soup. It's just called soup. It's 30p and you get soup in a cup.
I suppose it's better than a vending machine that just sells rocks.
Is it nice soup?
I didn't try it. I didn't want
would
to
you say
try
it's
soup
good
in a
soup?
vending machine.
Good soup.
I'd quite like to
It'll
try
probably
that.
be fresh.
Like, no, but how long has whatever powdered soup it was been in there?
Have you seen that one place in Japan which is just like hundreds of vending machines down the street, and like they're all just like there's literally hundreds of them. I wouldn't like to go there because I don't like.
Just
never mind.
do your shopping in vending machines.
That's not what I was gonna say.
I do like a good vending machine.
I felt like this album was just too long. It could have
Oh,
been
yes, definitely.
It
shortened.
felt a lot longer than it was, though.
Yeah.
It had 16 songs.
Yeah, but it wasn't even an hour. Like we've done albums that were longer. Like we did like a Kanye album that was like an hour 15.
But I think
there are some shorter songs on there.
I think 1975 had like an hour and 21 once.
That's what I mean. Like, but this album just feels long.
And I think it's because there's not a lot of variation. Like, I think that always makes it feel longer. You know?
I think a big part of it is all the verses of a lot of the songs felt the same, and it was just the chorus. It was just like the chorus hook part that was different in each song. The underlying feel
100%.
of verses, it was just like, I'm just gonna sing words in a very similar vein.
Denver, I wrote one thing down to mention, and you booked it for me. Wow. That was my one point.
Yeah, I hope you're happy with yourself, Denver. You've ruined his review now.
Nice, I've nailed the one thing I wrote.
Totally agree, though, because I rated this album basically on what I thought of the choruses. Because
that's what we used to do with
say,
metal
all
albums.
the verses just blend together.
Like
but don't you think also, like, it's starting to fall into the same sort of territory as metal, as all Western singers sound the same?
Ooh.
Bailey actually sounds quite
unique in comparison.
Unique, yeah.
And Luke, Luke Combs is great. You can't fault Luke Combs, but I think that's more less the voice and more the quality of music that is being put out. Because I think that you could show me one Western singer one day and another one the next day, and you could quite easily convince me they're the same people.
I think it depends. I think it depends because, like,
Luke Combs could sing this album better.
He could. I agree.
I don't know about that.
I would 1,000% agree.
I like them. I like them both. I like them both individually.
I think it depends.
Bailey Zimmerman, he's got a very interesting voice.
Because, like, Chris Stapleton's a country singer, but he has a very different type of voice to most country singers. It's like way more raspier. And
that's like saying, there's the odd metal singer here that sings a bit different.
Oh, no. Chris Stapleton and Luke Combs are very similar now.
Yeah, I thought they were.
No.
But I think they're almost bang on the same.
I don't want to take away from this guy because he's genuinely.
No, he said take away.
Can't get away from it.
He can't.
He's
He just
genuinely
has
a really
to
good
say
singer.
it.
So I'm going to retract my last statement because I think that was quite a dicky thing to say because he's clearly put effort into this. I think he's a good singer.
Bailey?
Yeah.
I didn't realise you said that he was shit.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I said Luke Combs could sing it better, and I'm going to retract that.
I agree, he could.
This guy is his own thing.
Well, Joe's just retracted it. So now you look like a bell end.
Yeah, he's
No, I still stand by it.
Put a lot of effort in. He's put a lot of effort into this, and I don't want to take that away from him.
No, good for you, Joe.
He's good in his own right, but I don't think he's the best country singer kind of thing. in my
I've
opinion.
seen him
But it's still
we all
really
played
good.
with
It's still really good.
Nickelback.
And the songs definitely do give a little bit of a slower Nickelback feel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like some of them really do.
Well,
I'm not
Nickelback's
twang
kind of
on it.
like a country rock, isn't it? It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like they're
I
their
think you
own
mean
kind of thing.
amazing.
Because I think you mean fucking
God
perfect.
tier. Joe, what have you lost?
What's that?
What have you lost?
What's that?
I still. You heard me twice.
My fucks to give.
Oh!
No, that's a good topic.
What did you have on your finger? You got red
Elf
on
bar.
it.
No, it's a guitar.
Oh, it's his elf
Oh,
bar.
that's my elf bar. Yeah,
I thought
that's
it was a
guitar
pinky
pick.
finger. You'd like cut it off or something.
And
Wow. Didn't care. That'd be so badass. You lose a finger, and you're like, "What have you lost?" And you're like, "My fucks to give." Wow.
It's broken.
Oh, dear.
So
Sorry, Will.
so I kind of just the album was solid. He's got a solid voice, but it's just too long and there's not enough variation for me. But it was good. It was nice to listen to. It wasn't painful in any way. Just too long. Worst for me was actually Warzone. Which is interesting. This is, I feel like, because, like you said, Aidan, at the start, like the songs being like good for the same reason that they're bad. I feel like there's going to be a really weird mix of like people's favorites and worsts because it's just kind of, it could be anything.
I don't know. I think the standout songs are so obvious, but
All two
definitely
of
the
them.
worst songs. All two of them.
See, I thought the worst one was Standout.
So
Wow.
yeah, I
Which one
didn't.
was the worst one? Out of curiosity.
Hypothetically.
Stop calling me pathetically.
So yeah, Warzone's the worst just because I kind of just didn't gel with it. It kind of, I just thought it was a bit meh.
You always were. I don't think
This guy.
The top three I genuinely really like. But again, because it's all quite similar, it could probably be, there could be a few more songs that would be in this, but I went for third was Fade Away. It's really, like you said, Joe, it's kind of all the choruses that you'd take note of. The verses.
It's a bit more upbeat, that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like that one actually does have a different, like at least bass tempo to a lot of the core songs on the album. Like there's quite a few slow ones, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of faster songs.
No, definitely not. So that one did kind of actually stand out. Second was Is This Really Over? Which was the final song on the album, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
That's quite a weak song.
Which I just really
I thought
liked.
it
I
was
thought it was a
good.
nice, like, chill way to end the album.
Definitely chill.
I'm sure
don't
Denver will
feel
love
like
it
the
because of how the way it's been put on the end of the album, and it's called It's Really Over. Denver
think
loves
mine-
that shit.
Well,
I think
I was
mine
actually
and-
about to say that though, but I feel like the album didn't have much in the way of like structure in terms of the order
No,
of songs.
it
I don't know.
No,
I feel
it
like it was
wasn't.
paced well enough, but
I don't think it would have mattered where you put them, really, kind of thing.
I think mine and Denver's least favourite is going to be the same.
you know,
I'm calling it now.
Well, I was going to say that I think that Rock and a Hard Place was going to be in everyone's top three, but I think Will might be fucking that here.
I don't think it's
well,
top
for
three
reference,
material.
mine was nearly the worst. So
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Rock and a
Yeah.
Hard Place was one of the ones where I was like, nah.
I didn't really think
Great.
anything of that song either. First for me was Fixing to Break, which is, but
Fixing to Break.
I just
Fixing to
love
Break.
that song. Those top three I
Right.
genuinely really like. But it's, I sort of think, I just think it's a solid album, but nothing special. Yeah, I'm ill, Joe.
Yeah, he's been up
Give me a
since
break.
9 a.m. now.
He's bored of his own review.
Fucking hell.
Because
That's
it's
a bad
kind
sign,
of a
that,
boring
like.
album to talk about, because I feel like nothing's really that, like, interested
Look,
about it.
16. I feel like
16
I
cunt.
don't know about you guys, but when I listen to country, I can often be like to myself, words. I often think to myself, I like country, but often if I listen to more than 5 songs in a row, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting a bit fucking tired now.
Sure.
No, I loved
Like,
country. Fantastic.
I always think to myself, like, oh, I really love Luke Combs, but like as soon as I'm on song 4 or 5 of Luke Combs in a row, I'm kind of like, yeah, I kind of need to listen to someone else to then enjoy the country.
Like refresh your palate almost.
I feel like country has a certain time to listen to it. Like I feel like country is at its best when it's on in the when it's on in the background, but when you're like not necessarily overly engaged in something else. So like it's like say you're doing chores around the house or something like that. Country is good in the background, but it is not country does not work well for driving. I don't think.
What? That's like the best time.
I was going to say
all the songs are about driving trucks and drinking a cold one.
I was going to say maybe typical country, but not Bailey Zimmerman. I don't feel like any of these songs work for driving.
No, but he doesn't really talk about pickup trucks and drinking beers. He's a bit of a religious guy, isn't he? Hey?
He talks about
equally, I feel like country is a bit too chill for like motorway driving.
It depends. This kind of country, yes, but not like this is a very more like a very more. This is like a way more chill kind of religious country album. Whereas a lot of country albums is obviously like dead like upbeat and
it is
hound dog.
Religiously the album.
Yes.
That's as far as Will knows. He's done no research here. He just sees the word religiously and thinks he's religious.
It's religious, yeah.
I mean, why would you call it religiously if you're not religious?
Well, because the song's about loving a woman religiously. But I don't think he actually means that he's doing it through marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I don't think it's...
You don't get the vibes.
Any like God spreading.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like you get Christian rappers where they literally are.
It's like when you're on a bus and you sit too wide, but you're talking about Jesus, God spreading.
He does literally have a song set called "God's Gonna Cut You Down." So.
Yeah, he also has a song called Chase Her, and that's not very religious, is it?
He does also have a song
down an alleyway.
You don't want that smoke, which doesn't sound very religious either. Kind of sounds a bit millennial, to be honest. You don't want that smoke, cuz. But anyway. My album.
You also have a song called Warzone, which doesn't sound very religious.
No.
God doesn't like war.
Just too long.
No, he loves it.
War.
He fucking loves it, man.
that's why all them countries go to war. It's always about fucking religion.
It's all about population control.
Nothing against religion, because I think having faith is great, but I'm not religious myself. But you know, like, it really annoys me when they go, God forgives you. And you're like, you don't fucking know him. How do you know?
Oh, no, but
you don't know me. I've done horrific things.
You don't even know if it's a him. Could be a they.
I think the best is just is it fucking Borat, where he like goes to like these fucking
The funny thing is,
I can the one video of the guy who's like, the faster the healing, the faster things are going to happen, the faster the miracles.
It's so good. I've got this on my For You page on TikTok at the minute. I keep getting, probably because I watch them because they're highly entertaining. There's this woman who keeps doing like these, whatever you call them, what do you call them? Surnames?
I don't know what you're on about.
The same
Ceremonies?
thing that I think they're called surnames, like when you go to these places and get healed by God. Anyway, and there's
it's just affirmations.
And there's this woman who's like just the massive church speaking to the crowd, and she's just like, God, show us who needs healing and all this, like whatever they say. And then this random woman in the crowd, just this random woman drops down to the floor and just starts screaming at the top of her voice.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, she's being healed." No, she's fucking mental. Oh, it's insane. Man.
I'm gonna be honest. I know this ties back, but that is just a room full of people all being influenced by the spread of misinformation, which I really enjoy.
It's their want to believe it.
Yeah,
they believe it so much they forget. It becomes their subconscious, and then they think that
it's just always really depressing, isn't it? When they're doing it, and then they wheel like someone in a wheelchair in. But obviously they're always faking, so they stand up. But what if they did it with like a real person in a wheelchair? They were like, "God will heal you." It's like smack them and they just like fall back.
God doesn't accept you. And they always have a good get out. It's like sometimes it just doesn't work.
God really likes your noodle legs, and clearly you don't want to stand enough.
Yeah, we don't get to decide. God decides.
True, and God can be real picky for some reason.
for God only knows what reason.
God only knows what I do without you.
Anyway,
It's
so
me.
Bailey Zimmerman.
It's not
Really
called.
religious.
It's not called a sermon, by the way. I don't know what it's
You mean
called.
a sermon?
Sermon.
Is it not even that?
Sermon.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
what
Sermon.
do they call it? Sternum.
Sermon.
Just go on your TikTok, surely it'll say.
A religious discourse delivered in public, usually by a member of the clergy. Yeah, that'll be it, won't it?
Isn't that what we're
A
on now?
sermon.
Discourse.
Nice. Joe, what do you think?
Hello, it's me, and welcome to this part of the album review where I will now talk about Bailey Zimmerman for about 5 minutes, and then we'll move on.
Let's go.
I was a bit underwhelmed. I still really liked the album, but a bit underwhelmed because I think I've been very lucky. It's like with my girlfriend. I introduced her to The Last of Us, one of my personal
I thought you were
favorites.
going to say, it's like my girlfriend. I like her sometimes.
Well, a bit underwhelmed.
Mediocre at best.
Joking. But I, she's not a gamer. I introduced her to The Last of Us as the first proper game to play. And now everything else is shit because I started her off with the best. And with me for country western, I feel like my journey with country western music started with Luke Combs, who is undoubtedly the best. So now I feel like any other western music I listen to, I just can't appreciate as much because I like Luke Combs so much.
Well, David Logic.
However, this guy is great in his own right. Great singer. I think the issue is with this album is there definitely isn't enough variety. And I kind of did a test with this album because I listened to it for the first 3 times and I was like, I am so struggling to pick out a standout or, even if something was bad because it all just meshed into one. To the point where I put it on the way to work this morning. And what I accidentally did is played the first 2 songs, but then it went onto some random playlist and it took me 4 songs of other country western singers to realise that I'm not listening to Bailey Zimmerman anymore. And that's how little these songs have stuck with me, memorability-wise. Is that a word? I think so.
Remember.
But he is a good singer. I think he could just do with a little bit more uniqueness to his songs. How he's going to do that, I don't know. And it's a shame because, on the books,
The Bible.
by textbook, there's nothing wrong with these songs. There's nothing really bad in the album, I would argue. However, it just didn't stick with me. And whether that was just because I wasn't in the mood for this sort of music at this point in time, or what, I don't know. But like I was getting to earlier, I did a test and I did my 3 listens. And then I was like, right, I'm just going to put this in the background. This was a couple of hours ago. I was going to play some Call of Duty, just put it in the background and see if anything catches me. And it did. And that was my favourite, but we'll get to that. But it was interesting to see how, listening to the album as a whole, nothing really stuck. Put it on in the background, and all of a sudden it catches my attention. And I think that definitely enhanced it a little bit for me. I don't know why, but it did. My least favourite is God's Gonna Cut You Down. And although I felt this song was cool, it had a cool feeling to it. It made you feel cool. It had that old Western riff, that kind of cowboy.
See, I quite liked the marching beat it had throughout. Spoilers, that's not my least favourite.
I didn't dislike anything about this song. It just didn't. It's not your least favourite, did you say?
No, it's not.
Damn.
I quite liked that one.
I liked it. I didn't not like any of them. I thought they were all good. It's just this one just didn't have as much about it for me as the rest of them. But I'd still listen to it. It's not. I'm not going to put any of these songs on and go instant Kurt Cobain. So on that note, my third favourite was Religiously. What a banging start to the album. One of the most memorable songs. Good chorus. Again, I'm kind of rating these songs off their choruses.
So you kind of have to, don't you, really?
Yeah, the verses all just kind of blend. My second favourite is Where It Ends. I think that's another banging chorus. Probably one of my favourite choruses in the song. However, without a shadow of a doubt, this is just top tier, the best song on the album. And that is Rock and a Hard Place. Just
Yes, Joe.
banging. Oh, you're my yes man.
Yes, Joe.
Just shows, Will, they talk about it beforehand.
Well,
And
it's weird
they
because
convince each other that it's the best one.
no,
That's
again,
right.
this kind of made my mind up when again I was playing COD and I was like,
Aidan
oh,
was
this
saying
is a
about
good.
how it was the best one to
No,
you, and you
I
thought,
was like,
Yeah.
no, not
I was
really.
doing all of those.
Sheeple.
I kind of just looked at him and I went, I didn't look at him because I didn't have his camera on. But I was just playing. I was like, oh, this is a standout. And then I just looked and I went, it's Rock and a Hard Place. And then I went, yeah, it's Rock and a Hard Place. Good song. So that was undoubtedly my favourite in the album. A song that might be going on my playlist. But other than that, it was just a bit. It's good, but how good can it be if it's not sticking?
not good enough.
True.
You know what I mean?
I can look at any of these bar my favourite too, and I will not be able to tell you what they sound
How
like.
they go. Yeah, exactly. And again, it's frustrating, and I feel bad for the guy because you listen to it and you're like, this isn't bad, this is pretty good. But then you can't remember any of it. So what does it count for? Nothing.
Nothing. Imagine making subpar verses. Grow up, lad.
So there you go.
Get a real job.
That's my review.
Something you might
Thank
find
you.
interesting currently, because you're talking about like the biggest artists in country and stuff. You're saying like Luke Combs is the best currently. Apparently,
Yeah.
this year the most listened to country singer is Morgan
Very true,
Wallen, who is very
He's
very
had
good.
That crazy viral song though, didn't he?
He's got some
I was
amazing.
gonna say, the trouble is TikTok really throws things off, doesn't it? Because one person can have like
You sound so old.
Not much. Jesus.
This ticky-tocky's really ruining the music.
But it is though, isn't it? Because like one person can like just release one song that then gets like a
They don't
billion
even
views
release
as suddenly
like
like the biggest artist.
They just do like a 10-second snippet and that's it. Everyone just flocks to that song, don't they? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but his song wasn't even that big on TikTok. It was just big in general.
I
Like Lizzo.
I can't remember what the song's fucking called now, but there's a song that I kept seeing in loads of, well, it's more of a theme tune than a song that I kept seeing in loads of TikToks. And I was like, I really like this. I found out what song it was. And it's like 1:40 long.
Can you
It's like-
replicate the theme for us?
I'm ready.
No, I can't.
Come on,
can't.
you got this.
No,
Come
I
on.
can't.
No, I can't.
Come
No,
on,
I
please.
Can't.
You can.
No.
Oh,
I'd rather be listening
Denver.
to him right now.
Well, no, I can't.
It didn't even. I can't remember if it had even any vocals in it. But yeah, anyway, Bailey Zimmerman.
Oh, that's such a letdown.
The anticipation for that was
I
incredible.
really wanted to hear it.
Bailey Zimmerman. Just, it's a very somber album. Very calm. Very simple. Like, it's just sort of, it's the kind of music you put on to just listen to alone. Not because it's embarrassing, but just because, like, it doesn't, if you play, like, I was always fine listening to the album. Like, I thought, this is all right. I can listen to this all day long if needed. But not because I'm really into it. It was just kind of like, it's good enough and nothing's horrible or bad. There's enough variation in terms of the chorus to be like, this is that song. This is the one that does this. Or like another song was starting about, this is the song that has that little change in the start. I think it's because the underlying bass line of country is still all right. So then when they just have these tiny variations on top, it's still all right. But it's just...
I love that. It's like, I like Western music because the bass tone of Western is all right. So when they add all this stuff in, it stays all right.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they don't deviate too far from it, so they're not ruining the bass line, but equally they're not like elevating it that much.
Yeah. It just keeps it mildly
Aidan's
interesting.
currently being blessed by
He
Jesus.
looks like
on his
he
forehead.
looks.
I'm healed.
I think
Guys, my legs work.
the length of the album does hurt it because it does. I don't think I ever listened to the whole album in one sitting. Like I was often doing something else with mid-song, and equally the album felt like it had no pacing through it. It was exactly the same in shuffle as it was in order. The album was not elevated in any way by the structure or order of it. It was just like, here, I've made 16 country songs, have them, which is fair enough. But I do just like to give more. Like at that point, why release an album? Why not just release 16 singles? You know, if you're gonna make an album, make the order mean something.
Make the order great again.
Yeah, many verses are similar, just with different hooks. That's all about I had to say, really. It's just all right, isn't it? It's not bad. The quality and production, I think, is plenty good enough for this. It does nothing overly special, but equally it has nothing that sounds horrible. And my level of enjoyment of the album was just all right. Least favorite, standout, just because it was the most meh. I thought it had almost no redeeming qualities. Was Fall in Love. None of you put it as your least favorite, but equally none of you had it in your top 3. So
there you go.
It was just meh.
It's one of the most popular. It's the second most popular on the album.
Is it really?
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, I don't get these things, these statistics.
Yeah, mate, it's the second most
scumbag.
It really is shit on computer. Third favorite though, really loved my top 3. There was probably about 5 I really quite liked. That it was a sort of toss up between. But third was Fade Away because it was like the only real upbeat, decent country song. Really enjoyed Fade Away. Second favorite was Fixing to Break again because it was more upbeat. I just preferred the driving, more upbeat song. And number 1, which I just thought was by far the album. It's the title track of the album, and it always really made me think this album's going to be fucking brilliant. But the album kind of always dropped off. Yeah, and that was Religiously.
Yeah,
agreed. My favorite song on the
album. Well, not agreed, but it was my third. But yes. It was definitely. It was such. I had the same kind of reaction to you. Is that I heard that song and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a good album."
And I kind of think the album like started strong because Warzone was still alright, and then obviously Fixing to Break I really liked. And I thought the end about 4-5 songs were really good. It was the middle that was always the hard bit to get through. That was always the point in the album when I was listening where I'm like, I'm not like. I'm not sure if you guys do this, but when you're listening to it, you kind of have like you have a rough rating in your head of like, oh, I feel like this is a bit like a 7 or an 8 album. Like, which way's the needle going? Is it going to improve? And then as you go, I'm like, it's dropping. And I'm like, oh, now I'm kind of thinking this isn't that great at all. And then it would kind of re-pick back up and balance out at the end. But yeah. Bailey Zimmerman.
Good, not great.
Bailey Zimmerman. Good, not great.
Bailey Cinnamon.
Not any relation to Hans Zimmerman.
Also Zimmerman.
Ratings.
6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
Clean sheet.
5.5. It scores 25.
Bang-av!
Bang-av.
1 off for Bang-av.
Pretty much
26 is a Bang-av, isn't it?
For us, it is.
I can rerun the numbers for a Bang-av if you'd like.
Nah. He's going to do it anyway.
I am going to do it anyway. If I
Why even ask?
Fucking do this. Why even ask when you know I'm just going to fucking
How do you work that out? What's a Bang-av?
You can... I just average...
Do the average of all scores.
Right, okay. Is this going to take you a second?
It's XL, mate. It'll take 2 seconds.
I just can't remember the fucking.
I was gonna say if Denver can remember the what is it? The fucking hotkey.
Oh, look at the poorly baby.
Oh,
Look at
he's
the
so
poorly
sad.
baby.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Will? Oh,
This is gonna come back to bite me in the ass when I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna cough on you.
Thank you.
It's gonna be great.
Gotta wait till you're ill, Joe.
I'm probably gonna be ill tonight. I feel it. I can feel it creeping on me.
Oh, have you got a tickly throat?
I had a tickly throat when I woke up.
Did your dick feel weird?
But like for me, like I'll be fine, and then all of a sudden I'll get in bed, and then bang, I've got a cold. It just happens like that.
Yeah, it does. It do be like that. Like I thought, like I knew I was gonna be ill today, but like I got into bed last night and then just like couldn't breathe, fucking all night. It was horrible.
Yeah, it's the
And it was probably worse than what Will's got, if I really think about it.
I would imagine.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could imagine how
Can't
bad this is.
fucking remember how to do it.
Have you been taking Beecham's?
Beecham's, that's
got-
the one.
Co-op's own brand.
No, you want Beecham's.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Fucking say.
I don't want to bring out a second mortgage on my house, Joe. They're like £6 a box.
They are, but they work.
I'd rather die.
I've been relying on Lemsips. They're a good
Well,
choice.
you want-
Again, another. You want the off brands. I get the off brands. I'm with Aidan.
Morphine.
Beecham's gets rid of my cold within 2 days.
Well, start taking them now and don't have the.
I have. I have.
He's
That's
crap.
not how it works. But next album.
Oh shit! Okay, you're
Oh, did
not
you-
finding
did you
the
do
average
thing?
thing.
Oh no, I couldn't fucking remember how to do it.
For fuck's sake!
We spent all that time insulting Will for nothing.
Right, I keep highlighting all the numbers and I'm like, fuck, how do I now put these in an auto sum?
Me when I'm Mason.
Don't you just press equals?
Yeah, but I don't know how to. Hang on, fuck's sake.
Do you want me to Google it?
No, I know. I just can't remember. The
Obviously,
fucking
you
box.
don't know.
Oh.
Oh, hang on, I've done it previously. I just have to extend the boxes.
The boxes, Mason. What do they mean?
My boxes are disaligned, Mason.
Me, I'm playing Rocket League, Mason, and my boxes
Well,
are
actually, the
below.
average is 24.2.
It's got
Whoa.
lower now.
It has got low. That's
I guess I'm rubbing you guys off. Am I right?
That's because you what now?
If
I
it
guess
was any
I'm rubbing you
consolation,
guys off.
I'd rather
the
you
average
don't.
has actually gone up.
Oh.
That bang av was just what we determined. 23
Right.
point something was actually originally the.
So it's gone up. We have had some bangers.
I guess you guys are rubbing me off then.
No, still no.
I guess
Is
you
it a
guys are
thumbs up
rubbing
or a
off on me.
thumbs down from Joe.
No, I am gonna say. Can I do a middle thumb, or we still
No.
can't do that?
I thought if it was over
that's- it
5
Can't
years,
be,
it
it can't
instantly.
be a
Yeah.
thumbs down.
This is the first tricky one. I am gonna say a weary thumbs up.
Nice. Denver, type in
It's
weary.
It's just there.
Thumbs
It's just
up.
there.
Is
In
it
Just
brackets.
a devil
Weary.
finger
Just
or a
about
bendy
that.
wendy?
Wow.
Wendy, Wendy.
2005 called. They want their references back.
Literally.
My dad used to do devil finger. I mean, that sounds.
He did fucking
Well,
Put that man in prison. He can't keep getting away with this.
That sounds really bad. Not like that.
Oh my god, Joe.
That's fucked, lad.
Sorry, Dad, if you're watching this. But no, like he'd do it to annoy me, type of thing. Like,
Yeah, he would.
do you just mean he would poke you, or would he actually go devil finger?
no, he'd go devil finger, and then he'd like jab
Poke your
me.
bumhole.
Oh,
I mean,
it,
sorry.
In the ass. Devil finger.
No, but one of my first things my dad taught me was like pressure points. Like, so it used to
Yeah, he
like,
did.
used to like fight.
Really not
Most
helping your
people's-
case here, Joe.
I was going to say, most people's dads like play trains with them on play tractors in the
My
living
dad
room.
was like,
And your dad's like, here's how the pressure points on a man.
Come on, Joe. Give us an interesting fact. Oh no!
I haven't
Change the
told
album.
us the fucking
Sorry,
album
sorry,
yet.
sorry. I'd do it. Go.
Next album is Logic. Everybody.
Oh.
no way, sick.
Let's go way back to the Good. Oh, Black Spider-Man. This is a fucking great album. Anyway.
Yeah. There we go. Wow.
Three.
I wonder what Will's going to rate it. Guys, this album's the best album.
He has
I've
fell
ever
off ever since, but
He's never made another album.
yes, he has.
Am I looking at the wrong logic? There's loads of albums here.
Yeah, he's done albums since this. He's done like two
Which
or
album?
two or three.
I thought when I looked, it literally only came up with this album.
Which album am I looking at? Everybody, did you say?
He's done albums since this.
There's fucking loads of
Oh
albums.
no, there is. Sorry, this is the only essential album apparently.
We can't rate this one any more than like a 3 because it's got loads of featured artists. Sorry, Denver. You just put my score in now. It's a 3.
This album is a journey.
I'm ready to drown.
Which one is it?
Everybody.
How fucking far?
I'm going to put it forward now that Aidan's going to hate this, but
Wow.
Logic is what I grew up on.
Astute
What?
observation there.
Logic is what you grew up on.
Yeah, Joe used to listen to the Logic, yeah.
Yeah, genuinely, I used to love Logic. I cannot find this album.
There's the one that's got like the classic historical picture, but like, what was the picture called? It's like a famous picture, isn't it?
Everybody.
It looks like the fucking. It looks like the Last Supper, but with a load of other random shit.
I'm on the wrong Logic.
There's another Logic.
I found it.
Wow. Logic isn't a spellbinding storyteller, sharp songwriter, powerhouse performer, and history maker, though.
You're
which
right.
upsets me.
You're right.
He's done an album
But
this
he
year.
was in that one episode of Rick and Morty
He was.
before, Justin Roiland became
Instead,
a nerd.
he is stylistically dynamic and voluble.
What the fuck is voluble?
I don't know.
Isn't that the game that the people play where they like hit it in the air and smack it down into the sand?
Volleyball.
Nah, close.
Voluble means talking fluently.
Nah. Joe, you got a fun fact for us to finish
Hi.
the episode? Hi.
Did you know that blue whale, when it ejaculates, it will emit 30 to 40 pints of cum? That's almost 5 gallons.
Nice.
What a way to end it.
How do I buy a blue whale?